Dear students, in the previous class, we discussed British rule and its impact on modern system of education. There we come across some points, especially Warren Hastings, William Bentinck, Macaulay, Charles Wood, Jonathan Duncan and their roles. And we discussed the modern system of education in India after the advent of British to India. And now we are going to see the impact of British education in India. See, formerly we discussed the Mughal system of education. Before that, the conventional or oriental method of education which were prevailing during that period of time, you know that. And education, especially in the oriental education, that what we call that orthodox method of education system in India, that was, Vedic system of education and Vedic mathematics. These were included in the curriculum. Later, the advent of Mughal, they brought some changes in Indian education system. But aftermath, British, they also introduced their own system of education to bring rapid changes in Indian education system that we discussed in the earlier class, in the previous class. Now we are going to see the impact of British education in India. Indians could develop modern secularism, democracy and attitudes. See, once again, let's see, the Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes and rationality along with nationalistic idealism. This is the first point, the impact of British education in India. And second point is, an impetus was received for the local literature and languages. What do you mean by impetus? A propulsion, a momentum, a quick momentum was received for the local literature and languages. This facilitated unity thinking process among the educated classes. See, before this, almost we were illiterate. Most of the population of this country were illiterate. Because of English education, impetus was received, propulsion, a momentum was received. Third one is periodical. The third point is periodicals. Periodicals started emerging. These scrutinized the policies and working of the government through periodicals, means here newspapers, magazines. They scrutinized the British policies and working method of government, which turn enabled the Indians to have critical opinions on various issues, which in turn enabled the Indians to have critical opinion on various issues. Means, you know that pen is mightier than sword. In this case, we can believe like that. Periodical starting criticizing the British government, third point. Fourth one is new social and religious reformation movement emerged. Reformation movement. New reformation movement. And there were so many evils which crept into Indian society, you know, that Devadasi system and many more, caste system, untouchability. These were the social evils. People were living within that. This education brought changes and ignited religious reformation and movements in India, that you know, and in next class we are going to see that also. And fifth point, the thoughts of thinkers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau, and Montesquieu. They are called as Montesquieu. They are called as liberal thinkers. They spread the liberal thinking process. The thoughts of the thinkers like J.S. Mill. J.S. Mill means John Stuart Mill is not only social thinker but also an economist. And here J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu. brought fresh thinking in the mind of educated youth of India. Sixth point is the freedom of struggles. The freedom of struggles that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indian also. The freedom movement. And you know that in 1789, French Revolution occurred in France. French Revolution. These people also were influenced by the French Revolution. The freedom of struggles that were taking place across one such freedom movement was French Revolution, American Revolution. We got idea of American Revolution and French Revolution. Then Indian could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. See, through this we can express, understand, appreciate our rich tradition. Our tradition is 500, so 5,000, 6,000 years old. You know that the civilization which took place in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, and later our rich and glory of heritage can be appreciated through this education. Like this, the new thinking and cultural perception that emerged due to the British education system created a new generation of Indians with progressive attitudes. Dear children, we discussed the impact of British education in India. Once again, I don't want to explain it more, because in the point of view of examination, if I go lengthy explanation, you will get confused. So I went through quick points. Indians could develop the modernity, then impetus was received, then periodicals start emerging, and the new social and religious reformation movements occurred in India. Then the social thinkers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu, they brought fresh thoughts in Indian minds, and freedom struggle were influenced in India. Then Indians could understand and appreciate the rich tradition. These are all the impact of British education in India. Dear children, with a small chain, you can tie an elephant. Likewise, with a law, you can control entire country through law and order. British understood this so early, so they implemented law and order procedure in India. So they brought in change in constitution, that we can see through the constitutional development in India. Now we are going to see constitutional development. Constitutional development. Along with the British administration, problem also grew in India. Problems also grew in India. In order to alleviate those problems, reformation in administration became important. And these reformation needed to address the demands of India. The British attempted to create different rules in the form of law and tried to implement them. These types of laws helped the evolution of Constitution in India. Evolution of Constitution in India. We shall study this attempt in brief. You know, laws implemented during the rule of East India Company. At first, they introduced Regulating Act in 1773. Regulating Act. This is very, very important on the part of British. By launching these, they tried to control the entire country and minuscule states and native rulers and princely states through regulating acts. Not only they controlled minuscule states, princely states, even they controlled East India Company. See, British Parliament was looking after the administration in Britain. Even they controlled East India Company in India. After the implementation of Diwani rights, that I asked previously in the previous class, I asked what do you mean by Diwani rights and what do you mean by dual governance or dual government. Here, after the implementation of Diwani rights in 1765, what they introduced it? Diwani rights. Diwani rights. The greedy company officials misused this provision. Which provision? Diwani rights provision. They misused the Diwani rights provision and they misused it for their self. For their self. Who misused it? The officials of East India Company. They became rich and corrupt in a way, in corruptive way. They became so rich in a corrupt way. Corruption spiraled out. Corruption increased in East India Company. At that moment, Edmund Burke, note that point, Edmund Burke, a member of the British Parliament, criticized the corruption in the East India Company. Edmund Burke. What does he say? And what did he say? He criticized it. He termed the tax payment received by the British government from the East India Company as criminal tax. Who pronounced this? Who made this statement? Edmund Burke. See, the East India Company was paying some amount, some portion of amount to British government in England. That he considered that was criminal tax. That he considered it was criminal tax. He was forced to criticize in this manner as the government remained silent to the fact of corruption among the company officials. Many company officials had become super rich. They became very rich. A small attender, small clerk became rich, super rich. And many in England, they feared that these people may upset the very fabric of England, very political fabric of England, very existence of England. What? These super rich people, these corrupt people of East India Company, one or another day, they will upset the very fabric of England, very political fabric of England, very existence of England. See, he made such a statement. Who made? Edmund Burke made. That was criminal tax. According to Regulating Act 1773, Supreme Court of Judicature was established in Kolkata. See, in the beginning only I told, with a small chain we can tie an elephant. With a simple law we can control the law and order of the country, of the entire country. See, in our country today more than 135 crore people are there. Most of them are controlled by law and order. Similarly, British enforced Regulating Act 1773. At first, it started Supreme Court of Judicature at Kolkata. Supreme Court. The highest apex court. Supreme Court means the highest apex court. It was established in Calcutta. Calcutta. Like this, as a name of the Regulating Act suggests, the act was aimed at regulating the company affairs and administration in India. Dear children, today we discussed the impact of education, impact of modern education system and Regulating Act. The remaining point will be discussed in the next session. Dear children, please go through the video along with the textbook. There are so many small points are there. While you going through the video, beside you keep textbook and go along with that, go through that. That will help you. Sai Ram.